What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Fix It Garage and another special video. Today it is time to talk about the new people. That is right. We've done the core workers. Now let's talk about what to expect when you're a new person. This video is going to be focused on before and during an autocross event and what to expect when you're a new person showing up to an event for the first time. We're going to cover a lot of the basic things that you need to know when going to an autocross event. Now, everything that's going to be talked about at the event will be based on my experiences with the Oregon SCCA. Now, each club can be a little bit different, but they're usually all pretty close. So this is a good representation of what to expect when you go to an event and kind of like the things that you're going to need to do. First things first, you need to get registered. Now, every club is a little bit different when it comes to registered. A lot of it is online and a lot of it is prepaid. I highly recommend that if there's an option to prepay, you prepay for your events. It will streamline the registration process when you get to the event. When registering for our club, if you're new, it is highly recommended that you register for Trophy Challenge. That is our novice class, and usually that class runs opposite of our novice Chief Jake and a lot of other experienced drivers who can watch you and help you, give you advice so you don't get lost and you get to have the most fun while driving the course. Now, what time do you show up to an autocross event? At least for the Oregon SCCA, I highly recommend you're showing up at about 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're gonna understand why very shortly. The first thing that you have to do when you get to any autocross event is sign a waiver. When you sign that waiver, you are acknowledging the risks of being around a motorsports event. The risks involved with being near cars that are driving in a performance fashion. This waiver protects the event group, the location, and you while you're at an event. Once you sign the waiver, it's time to go park your car in a paddock space. So usually when you get there, there'll be an area where all of the people that are competing are parked. This is where you can prep your car for the event, pull everything out. It's like your own little personal pit space. So you need to go to your pit space, empty out your car, get it ready to run. That could mean putting on your tires for the weekend if you're running some stickier tires than your regular tires, adjusting your tire pressures, putting your numbers on, cleaning out the trunk, making sure that your helmet is ready to go in the car, setting up your cameras if you want to film some stuff. Like me, I like to put GoPros all over my car, and I try to do that when I first get there, so then I'm a little bit quicker when it comes time to go driving. I can just pop the cameras in where they need to be, and I'm good to go for those runs. So you can take about 30 minutes to get your car ready. Usually you can swap a set of tires, put some numbers on, get the car cleaned out in about 30 minutes or less. If you need more time, I highly recommend getting there a little bit before 7, just so you have a little bit of extra time. So at around 7:30, you're gonna be getting in line to come see me over at registration. So remember all that paperwork you filled out when you registered for the event? Yeah, I have it. And I've produced a run card for you. That run card you will use for the day. You're gonna come see me and my smiling face, along with Bernadette, who will usually be there with me, helping me make sure that you get your run card. We're gonna verify all the information is correct, make sure that you have paid, and then we'll give you your run card for the day. It's very important that you come see us first because all of the next steps require you to have your run card. Without it, you won't be able to know all of the other things that you're doing throughout the day. Following me, you're going to go see Danielle over at Worker Assignment and Run Order. She's going to give you your worker assignment for the day and the run order. It is very important to understand that anyone who does autocross has to do a worker assignment. Usually, as a newer driver, you will be shagging cones, picking up the cones on the track when they're knocked over and calling out cone penalties. This is a very important job in autocross because cone penalties and cones being picked up matter, because if someone knocks down a cone, the next driver is going to want it put back up for them so that way they can try to go around it correctly and set the best time that they can. So this is going to be a very important job once you're out working the course. Also, she's going to tell you whether you're running first or second, and whichever one you're not running, you will be working. So that is what she is going to give you when you go over to worker assignment. Usually with our club, worker assignment for us is right next to registration, so you don't have a really far walk. You're gonna come see me and then go right over to worker assignment. After you've seen Danielle, she will usually point you in the right direction for tech if you don't know where it is. The biggest thing about our club is if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask someone. They will point you in the right direction. But once you are done with worker assignment, it's time for tech. Time to get your car and your helmet inspected for the event. When going through tech, make sure that you have your numbers on the car and your helmet in the car ready to go. When you pull up to tech, make sure that you open up your trunk and your hood so they can go and they can look around the car. Some keynotes when going to tech, make sure that you have all loose items out of the car from the front to the back. You don't want any loose objects in the car anywhere that can fly around and hurt somebody or hit you. You don't want any loose objects in the car for a lot of safety reasons. So make sure that is all removed and in your pit area and left there till you are done competing for the day. While you're in tech, Dallas will then sign off on that run card that you have passed tech and put a sticker on the window letting you know that you are good to go for the day. Now is where you're going to branch off depending on what you're doing. If you are driving first, it is time to put your car into the grid lanes to get ready to drive. If you're not driving, it's time to put your car back in the pits and park it because you're driving second and it's time to start walking the course. I highly advise that if you're gonna be pulling stuff out and it's raining, either you bring tarps or totes to put stuff in so all of your stuff doesn't get wet. The last thing you want is a bunch of wet stuff to put back into your car when you're done. It's not a fun experience. Trust me, I learned the hard way. So if you're driving to grid, make sure that you go put yourself in a grid line. Usually there will be a line marked with double cones. That indicates a dual driver line. If you're driving by yourself, you can go in any of the other lanes, but that one, there's usually always somebody over there to point you in the right direction. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Once you've parked your car in grid, you can go ahead and begin to walk the course. So now you've parked your car where it needs to be. It's time to do the course walk. Now you being new, you may not even know how to walk the course. You may not know where to go. Well, luckily for you, there's usually always somebody around that knows how to walk the course. So I highly recommend you head over to where the start line is and someone will have already pointed you hopefully in the right direction. If not, again, don't be afraid to ask. Head over to that start line and find someone who looks like they know what they're doing and ask them if you can walk with them. They will usually always be willing to let you go walk with them. That will allow you to start learning where you're going. And usually these people who have been doing it a long time always have some kind of really good little tidbit for you to help you learn the course or to help you understand what's going on. That way when you're out there, it doesn't just look like a giant sea of cones. Usually you should walk a course as many times as possible or as many times as you need to understand where you're going before the start of the event. I usually like to recommend walking the course at least 3 times. If you can get in 3 good course walks, you'll usually have a good idea of where you're going. Now the biggest objective while being new isn't necessarily knowing what cones are the important ones, it's just figuring out where you're going and start learning how to read an autocross course. That way then you know you can go to other events and quickly learn where you need to go, and eventually you'll start to develop the other skills of looking at cones, knowing what cones do and do not matter. Usually at around 8:30, we close registration for the day. So it is really important that you get in line for registration early, around 7:30. That way then you're not scrambling at the last minute to get through registration, worker assignment, and tech. That will then leave you with no time to walk the course. And when you're new, you need as much time as possible. When we close registration at 8:30, there's usually a novice walk put on by the chief of novice, Jake. He usually will do a novice walk with all of the novices, and he will also show you where you're going and point out some important information that you need to know about the course. Usually a little bit of tidbits or things to understand here and there that you'll also learn to pick up the more you autocross. Jake is probably one of the best people to walk with. He's very knowledgeable in everything that has to do with autocross, and his course walks are very, very important. They helped me when I first started, so I highly recommend that you do the novice walk. Usually right at the conclusion of the course walk, which ends up being around 8:45, is the driver's meeting. Everyone needs to attend the driver's meeting. They cover a lot of key safety things during the driver's meeting. They discuss a lot of things that will help keep you safe, whether you're driving or working on an autocross course. Be sure that during the driver's meeting, you're not talking and you're paying attention to what is being said. This information is very important during the driver's meeting, and it's stuff that you need to try and remember during the entire event. Right after the driver's meeting is usually a novice meeting where they will go over different kinds of cone penalties. What is and what isn't a penalty. This is very important to pay attention to because when you're out working on course, you need to be able to look at a cone when you walk up, run up to it, and know if it's a penalty or not. This is very important, especially when you start getting with the competitive drivers, because sometimes they can win or lose with one cone penalty. So it is important that you pay attention during the novice meeting. After the novice meeting, it's time to either go to your car or go to your station. You've already been assigned a worker station, which will be laid out around the course. There will be buckets with a number marked on it. That is your station. If you are working, hustle out to that station bucket and wait for a corner captain to arrive. The corner captain will assign you part of the section that your group is working, and you're going to be responsible for watching those cones. Be sure to always listen to your corner captain, as they're going to give you some instructions from what cones to watch, kind of where a good place to stand is, everything that you're going to need to know when you're out there working the course so you can stay safe, but also make sure that you catch any penalties. When a car does knock over a cone, run, don't walk to pick up that cone, and keep your eyes on course. Never turn your back on the course, because a car could come out of nowhere and hit you. If you're paying attention, you'll see it coming. The other big thing when you're working the course is to not be playing on your cell phones, electronic devices, and do not sit or kneel. You cannot react as fast when you are sitting, kneeling, or leaning against something compared to where you're standing. You may need to move very quickly to get out of the way of a car, and if you're doing anything other than standing, you might not be able to move in time. Very, very important that you do not lean, sit, kneel, or play on your phone, and you are paying attention. Not only will it keep you safe, but it also makes sure that you won't miss when a car maybe bumps a cone or knocks over a cone. It will make sure that you don't miss anything, because trust me, you do not want to miss a cone call. At the end of the first run group, everybody switches. People who have been driving, go work. People who have been working, go drive. So if you worked first and drive second, it's now time to go put your car in grid and get ready to drive. Since you're in Trophy Challenge, there's usually a bunch of people that can watch and help you with your driving when you first start learning how to autocross. When you're in Trophy Challenge, usually they run opposite of a lot of the experienced drivers, so they can watch you and help you. And do not be afraid to ask for help. If you're out there and you're not really sure, look for somebody, ask if they can either go for a ride along with you or if they can watch you and let you know where you need to work on things, especially if you're getting lost. Having someone ride with you if you're getting lost will be very helpful to make sure that you can learn the course and have the most fun possible. We always try to put Jake opposite of the Trophy Challenge so he can help all of the novices, so do not be afraid to ask him or somebody else for help when you're driving. It will make your experience that much more enjoyable. Once you're finished with driving for the day and working, it's time to pack up, and that is the end of the day. If you're competing again on Sunday, be sure to keep your wristband from your waivers so you don't have to sign a waiver again the next day. And that's really all that you need to do. You're gonna show up the next day and repeat the process. Usually, between the 2 days, if you drove first on day 1, you'll be driving second on day 2, making it so everybody gets to drive early and in the first session and the second session throughout the weekend. It's how we balance things out and make it fair for everybody. Also know that usually the day 2 course is different from the day 1, so you will need to get there early to walk the course again, because we do change things around. That way then it's not the same course and it makes things a lot more interesting. And there you have it. That's what to expect when you're a novice. Now, if you guys want me to make a video on the actual what to expect as a novice when you're driving, let me know down below in the comments section. I'd be more than happy to try to make that, but I don't have as much experience as other people, so it might be a little harder for me to make that video, but I can bring in people who know more than me and we can make it happen just for you guys. But be sure to let me know down in the comment section below. Otherwise, I want to thank all you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, don't forget to smash the like button. Leave some comments down below, especially if you're from other clubs. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to not miss any future Fix It Garage videos. We're coming up on our next weekend of competition here at the beginning of April. I am super excited to get back behind the wheel of this car. There are some changes coming, so keep an eye out. I will show you guys some changes that we're making to this car before the next event. And we're also still going to do that deep dive into what worked and what didn't work on this car at round 1 and 2. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank all of you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.